Welcome to my Newmar New Aire 3343 parked in my driveway in the Boston area. So I definitely, when I brought it home, I'm like, my God, yep, yeah, it's big. It gets awfully close to meeting the roof line, kind of the house. Fortunately, my driveway is just wide enough that even with the slides out, I can still get my car in and out of the garage carefully. I have a gentle slope on the driveway. It seemed gentle to me. It is actually too much for the auto leveler to work. So you can see you can see the difference in the clearance between the tire and the chassis in the rear versus the front. And in fact, on the other side, I believe the wheel is off the ground, and the jacks were unable to compensate for this. It's close. So that's sorry, I'm hitting the mic. That's why you see some wood out here. I'm gonna create some pads for myself. I knew this unit was heavy. I bought some jack pads, and still it's damaging my driveway. So you can see I've got a pretty good dent in the driveway now. These pads are not cutting it. They look softer than they are, but they're still causing problems here. So I'm going to build some wood blocks. I'm going to build them taller so that this unit will be able to actually level itself in my driveway. All right, let's do. I'm going to do a little bit of a walk through here. I'm not going to do a long one because if you want to see like all the storage compartments open or doors open on the inside, things like that, I recommend you check out the Newmar videos from Mount Comfort RV. Chris Anderson there has a couple of them that are 30+ minutes long, and I think show off the unit pretty well. So without further ado, this unit came with the exterior Dometic freezer refrigerator. I'm not going to bother showing that because he shows that a little bit. One thing that some of you might be interested in is it does come with the Xantrex. It's the SW3012 Freedom line. I don't know if you can see that on the video. That's the inverter for the house, right? So that's this up here. There's an outlet in here. One of them is being used for the freezer. I'm going to make a note. This isn't by far the worst I've seen from a wiring perspective. These are all just kind of tied up a little bit haphazardly. Not my favorite sight to see. And look at this. This right here is going to be rubbing up against this sharp metal frame here, and that's going to cause problems. So that's going to need to be fixed. And I've even seen like some of these, that wasn't pushed in all the way. So I've been making the rounds, just inspecting everything, make sure everything's okay, tight, plugged in, screwed down. I am going to open this storage compartment and I'm going to make a comment. The videos and pictures do not do this justice. This thing is freaking huge. So this is a really big bin here, 65 quart bin. It looks like it's 23 inches tall, 2 feet tall, right? And there's almost enough room to put a second one in here. They're just absolutely massive amounts of storage in here. So really cool. I opted, I ended up getting dealer options on this, but they opted not to put the slide out trays in. I also personally would not do that because the slide out tray removes probably 6 inches or more of depth to the storage here, and I thought that was a waste. So all right, let's see if there's anything important in here. So awning controls for wind is in here. So you can press some buttons in here and change what miles what the wind speed you want the awnings to retract in, so you can configure that here. Camera controls, or the camera controller, I should say, is here. The bedroom slide out control is here. And there are outlets in here as well. And I forget exactly what these are, but anyway, so the thing to note in here, if you're putting stuff in here, make sure it's not going to hit these wires and do bad things to these controls. So just, you know, you can see the kinds of things I'm currently putting in here, soft things, you know, things like paper towels or toilet paper, my cat litter, you know, that kind of stuff you can pretty safely drop in here. So I don't think there's, yeah. All right. You know, I'm going to open, this is almost embarrassing. I've not even used, good, they actually unwrapped this for me. So there's the exterior entertainment center. They actually left so the remotes are in here. The Bose soundbar, the same one that's inside, is out here too. And you can change what that soundbar connects to, whether it's the radio in the dash, whether it's off or whether it's connected to the TV. And I'm going to go over, I think maybe a separate video. I'm just going to cover talking about that soundbar and making sure the audio is coming out of it properly. I spent way too much time debugging that as well. So, all right, we'll come around to the other side here. You'll notice, so there's my freshwater line and my shore power. In fact, you might be curious what I did here. So I have the shore power cord coming in here. It's connected into a Camco 50 amp extension cord, which I have temporarily just kind of, you know, gone over the ceiling, over the garage door here, and I drop it into this 50 amp plug that I put in because I have a 100 amp panel out here, 100 amp sub panel. It's got two breakers. There's no master breaker, main breaker for this. So out here, the main breaker on the main panel in the house is 100 amps. This is a 100 amp breaker because the Tesla will actually pull a consistent 80 amps of power. And then I added a 50 amp breaker here for the plug. So I'm obviously personally going to be careful not to run the RV and the car at the same time, at least at full load. You can change the amperage inside the car to draw less, so that I don't pull too much power through that system. So that's how I'm powering my coach. And then, you know, the water reel, you know, is fully extended, so I didn't measure it, but, you know, it goes, you know, from there to here, and then I have a couple of additional hoses, you know, between here and the backyard where it's plugged in. The wet bay, I don't know that there's a heck of a lot for me to cover here. You know, the unit came winterized, so I had to de-winterize it. So I was in here a fair amount. It's actually really nice to see some real numbers on here. So, you know, similar to inside, I see 34% gray tank usage. I'm going to be using my SantaCon, and I can attach a garden hose to it. I bought a garden hose, like a contractor grade hose with a 3/4 inch inside diameter, so I can reach my toilet, and I'll be able to dump that way. So I effectively have full hookups at the house. The only other thing I had changed here was I set that to city supply auto override instead of the automatic, because when I was out here draining it, there was some funky noise coming from behind this panel while it was automatic. When I switched it to city, the noise went away. Didn't change anything with respect to water pressure or anything like that. It's just the noise was weird, and I figured I would flush the system of antifreeze with that set this way instead of automatic, and I just haven't bothered to put it back to automatic and play with that yet. I've also got a thermometer out here. I'll be monitoring the temperature, the temperatures in this bay remotely. So, yep, that's it for this guy. Oasis is next. I got a couple of comments here. So, again, because they had winterized this, I had to come out here after I had drained all the antifreeze out of the system. I was running, fresh water through the hot water. With the hot water turned on, but it was obviously coming out cold because this was off. You have to come out here and turn this back on. This unit was off. So when winterized, this will be off, and no matter what you do inside with the Silverleaf, it's, you're not going to be able to get any hot water unless this master switch is on. And oddly, it took me a number of times. I would hit the button, the light would come on, I would let go of the button, light would go out, and I couldn't keep the unit on. But after 5 or 6 attempts, I finally got the power to stay on, and everything started up. And over here you can see the control for control and sort of status information for your, I guess you could think of it as zones. Once the boiler reached temperature, so when I first turned this on, the boiler started up and none of these lights changed. But after the boiler reached temperature, then my domestic water light came on and heated the hot water tank. And then I had hot water. So that's that. I'll make a quick kind of QA comment here. I found these two pieces, they were just lying around back there. And you can see a lot of, you can see a lot of, there's a lot of junk back there. So, again, just kind of go through your coach and just look at everything. These things floating around may or may not have caused a problem. It's just not good for this stuff to be lying around. So, all right, that's, I'll get a little close up. You've got the transfer switch, surge guard transfer switch here. So there's a good shot of the model that is. And for some reason, in case you want to vacuum outside, maybe the cargo areas, you've got access to that here. And here's another QA comment. Look at these wires. I mean, seriously, these were taped, and obviously the tape isn't going to hold. So I'm going to come through here and do something about this. This is just absolutely insane. So, okay. Even little details like this, right? This is eventually going to cause a problem, right? Somehow we need to get this to stay, and protect that wire. But I haven't been able to get that to stay, so. I think from an exterior perspective, that's all I'm going to cover. I think Mount Comfort RV does a pretty good job. You can see the wheel is off the ground here, so I'll be fixing that. Let's go inside. So I've got obviously the screen door in place here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to close the door, close the main door here, and we've got this entry keypad. So, doorbell, yay, I'm not going to scare the cat. You can press and hold, and now I've locked the door, and if they had been closed, all of those doors. Then you can input your access code. It beeps a few times telling you the code is accepted, and now you can press and hold and unlock. I think actually that might not be press and hold, just press and you get an unlock. So that's how that works. So let's come inside. Some pretty cool storage right here in both. So this one's nice and deep. And why don't I give you just a slow And just take a little walk through here. I'll sit down on the couch. One of the concerns that I had with this standard option table was it wasn't going to be sturdy. There wasn't going to be enough room for 3 or 4 people to eat. I'm really trying to move this, right? And this is insanely sturdy. I'm very, very impressed with how sturdy this is, given given that this changes into a bed. My experience with these has been that they're very shaky and not very sturdy. So this is great, and you can see, underneath, they've used a fair amount of wood here to really secure things in really well. So that's good. The seats are certainly more comfortable than I was expecting. I was afraid that because I probably will be spending a lot of time on these as I work remotely, that it wasn't even going to be comfortable, but so far it's been comfortable. Another quick little sort of QA comment. Before you even drive your coach away, because when I took the coach away from the dealer and drove it home on my 3-hour trip, somewhere along the way, this little screw came out, and I heard it drop down and roll around, and finally figured out that's what fell down. If both of these had come off, that's glass. This could have come crashing down, make a mess. That would not have been any fun. So I have gone through and checked the tightness of all of these. So I recommend you do as well, and probably even do that on a regular basis. So, and while I'm making QA comments, I don't yet know how to access anything down in here yet, but down inside the televator unit, you can see screws lying around. That's not great, and junk and stuff. So what's nice is, I don't think I can get a shot of it here, but there does appear to be, there's an HDMI splitter down there, and there are free ports on it. So if you're into making some serious audio video changes, looks like you've got some options there. And speaking of audio video, one of your Blu-ray players is here, or DVD. I'm not sure if that's Blu-ray. Hopefully it's Blu-ray. And then connections for satellite, HDMI. Oops, playing with the mic. Satellite, HDMI. We've got power in there, so plenty of options with respect to putting things inside. The Bose soundbar above, the same one that's outside. This drove me nuts for a while, and I'm going to demonstrate what I had to deal with. So when I got the unit and I turned the TV on, so I'm currently using the TV remote. I turned on the TV, and we should, now that I've moved the antenna, change to a channel that works. So I was getting sound out of the TV speakers and not the Bose unit, and I could not for the life of me figure out why, even though I went into the menu. So I'm going to show you what I did here. We'll go down to setup, scroll backwards here because it's faster, go to AV setup, speakers. They were set to TV, and I went in, set it to audio system, still didn't work. I changed this, still didn't work. The correct setting here is audio out. I changed audio out from variable to fixed as well, and back. Fixed seems to work well. I can't tell the difference between the two. I also tried to change this. Automatic is the correct setting. So I was checking wires and cables, and well, I at least discovered that the way the Bose is connected is via an optical digital audio cable. I'm not sure to what. It is impossible to see behind the TV. So it may connect directly to the TV. It may connect somewhere else first. I'm not sure. And then, even though, I'm in IT and I do computer programming for a living, and I should be smarter than this, I did check to make sure that the Bose was plugged in. I unplugged it, I plugged it back in, and it made a beep, and I was like, oh, well, it's plugged in, it's on, should be fine. Yeah, no, it was in standby. You have to actually turn the Bose on. stupid me. So the middle button on the Bose remote here turns the Bose on, and the little green light turns on, and now we have audio from the TV.
That's it?
If I can, there we go. Yep, right. So that definitely messed me up for a while. I may have to just make sure you do this inside and outside as well. There's another Bose out there too. This Bose remote is a programmable universal remote. Somebody, it was either Newmar or the dealer, pre-programmed this so it works with the television. So I don't need two remotes. That's great. So, you know, if you hit TV, so you're controlling the TV, and then you hit the source power button, you can shut off the TV that way. And of course, change your channels and control the TV in general. The Bose soundbar also can do Bluetooth, so if you press and hold the Bluetooth in the middle, that'll put it into pairing mode, and then you can pair your phone or what have you to it and play music that way. So I've done that as well, and that's really nice. There's a number of other things that you can change and control in the Bose, and so definitely read up on the manual on that. All right, so I think that covers everything that I found were dealt with in this general area. So I am going to move on. For some reason I didn't notice this in the demos or what have you. Most of the shelves are carpeted, so that's a great surface obviously for things in general, and also if you use Velcro on something, it sticks really well to this. In fact, that's what Newmar does with a lot of their stuff. If you look at the Blu-ray player, it's Velcroed in and it holds pretty well. So we're walking. The dishwasher, I think I'll note one little thing about this dishwasher, and I'm going to use a crappy piece of silverware to demonstrate just how deep the dishwasher is. So I was quite surprised by that. The only thing with the dishwasher is you lose two drawers. This drawer looks big. It's actually not. It's quite shallow. There's not a lot of clearance for stuff in here. But there's some obviously storage here. There's some storage here. This cabinet ends up going pretty deep. So that's helpful. And you do have storage, as I was showing here, and down here as well. So what I've been doing, and it's just me, so I'm not really pushing the boundaries here, but what I'm doing is I'm putting everything that I can in the basement, since there's so much storage there. If I'm not going to use it on a daily basis, it goes to the basement. I mean, what's there to talk about with the bathroom? And the shower is certainly really nice. I mean, this is like normal shower control, normal water pressure. In fact, I only have my regulator set to 45 psi. I keep forgetting to set that to 60, but that's working well. You get a fair amount of water out of the rain head, so that's nice. The fridge. You know what? I'm gonna. I just noticed because of that sticker. This came with the induction cooktop. If you've not cooked with induction, and I have not either until yesterday. By the way, these covers which come off, they're very heavy, which is great. They're sturdy. They have cutting boards in both of them, so that's a nice little addition. But induction cooktop, you can turn it on. It starts blinking, asking, "What do you want to do? Do you want to set a power level, or do you want to set a temperature?" So you select, "I want to set a power level." It quickly flashed to 5 there, but it's blinking at me because it doesn't detect a pot on top. But you can also set a temperature, right? Set the number, and that works insanely well. I've not yet used the timer. I did boil an inch of water in a medium pot in about 3 minutes. It was a rolling boil, so yeah, that works really well. So, and if you didn't notice it or haven't watched the Mount Comfort RV video yet, that whole induction cooktop pops right out. It's just a 120 plug. You can bring that outside, plug it into one of the outlets outside, and cook outside. Useful if you're cooking something smelly or messy and you don't want the aroma to be in here. I cooked bacon in here yesterday and it still smells like bacon in here, so that might be because I've got bacon grease in the trash. That's probably what it is, but still, you got to worry about that. That reminds me of another thing I ran into. So there is a vent here. It's a fantastic fan. There's no dome over it. It's just a normal fan with a cover, and it has a rain sensor on it. And the control for that, if we spin around down here, this is, by the way, another location for turning the water pump on and off, which is convenient given the sink is right behind us. But kitchen fan. So that's actually opening. It would not open this morning because it thought it was raining. So it keeps doing that to me, and it seems to be happening at night when things are probably just condensing up there, and so it's falsely thinking it's raining and prevents me from opening that up. It would have been great to open that up while I was cooking the bacon, and I couldn't. And I had the same problem with the bathroom. I couldn't open the bathroom vent this morning when I took a shower, so I gotta think about that. Fridge. This is a Samsung residential fridge. This is just awesome. I keep thinking I got all the tape out, and I keep finding tape. I am actually really impressed with the way these shelves are in here and how they're designed and all that kind of good stuff. I'm more and more happy with this fridge as time goes on. I was personally never a fan of this style a freezer, but I think they did a good job here. You've got the ice tray. This slides in, and this is really deep, really deep. And they had the dealer had winterized this, so there was pink ice in here, of course. And probably because of air in the lines, there was pink stuff just everywhere, sprayed everywhere. So these drawers, this one and this drawer, it's not even a drawer. This container pops out very easily. So I just took it outside and I just rinsed it all off. So that made it really easy to clean. And TV. Back here, of course, and we've got another DVD or Blu-ray. That actually says Blu-ray. Good. Okay. Some more hookups, right, for satellite and HDMI. And washer and dryer. I also ran this unit in order to remove the antifreeze, so I plan on using this at some point once I have enough laundry to throw in there. And I'll probably start with laundry I don't care about, just in case. We're gonna open this up. There's a safe. I haven't played with that yet. There's this V-Bus lighting control center panel that's screwed shut at the moment. I haven't opened that up just out of curiosity to see what's in there. Probably no user or serviceable parts inside sort of thing, but I always ignore those. And then wow, the light in here is really messing up the camera. Can I shut that off? There we go. So they always put a build sheet back here that gives you all of the part numbers for everything that was used to build this coach. So that's good to have. There's one on the wall here, and there is another one in the literature that I received in the little briefcase there. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this. This is where your main load center is. So you've got your primary panel and then your secondary panel here for the inverter. So anything that's in here will run off of the inverter. Anything that's in there will not. And then we've got some 12-volt fuses, and they've always done a really good job, I've found, throughout the coach, labeling all the fuses. So while I was outside, I forgot to show one thing, and that was all the fuses that are out there there's these fuses, there's the chassis fuses up front, and then there's a whole nother 12 volt system and fuses and controllers and things like that down below as well. That's protected by it looks like a sheet of plexiglass and just two thumb screws that you can use to remove and gain access to that. So that's it. I think I'm going to finish up with that. I guess real quick, I have not played with this either. There are two switches over here labeled speaker, and I believe those are the speakers up there. So I haven't played with that yet, but interesting that you can turn on and off the speakers there. I suspect that that's maybe connected to the TV somehow or something like that. So, and then these little guys are the temperature sensors, and like I've stated in a previous video, you know, those appear to be giving me readings that are 4 or 5 degrees too low. Slide out button. The only slide out button for the bedroom is in the back, so you have to come back here and use this to do the slide out. The full wall slide out and the other slide out are behind the panel up above and to the right of the driver. I'm going to make a little note about these. These at night can be bright, but never fear, you can dim these. I don't think this panel can do it, but there is a button. Let me see if I can find it on another one. Yeah, of course I'm not going to be able to do it while I'm doing this, so another demo fail. But you can change how bright these are. In fact, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, these are running dimmer than the other ones, and that's because the panel up above the bed, there's several panels up here, and I dimmed them last night before I went to bed because that was pretty bright at night, and even that provides a fair amount of glow. So yeah, all right. And for the really curious, while I was pressing on this, I noticed it's loose, so I was kind of toying with it. I'm like, wow, that pops right out. So all of these panels appear to just be snap-in panels. So looks like this is pretty accessible and whatnot. I'll deal with that once I have 2 hands free. Okay, signing off. Thanks for watching.